Oh, by the way, you put the kibosh on HBO Max, right?
No, I brought it back.
Oh, you brought it back?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of want to see what's on there. Well, I that's kind of how I figured it out because shit. Sorry, I went over the 108. Crap. You want to do it at 109?
Do what?
The clock up at the upper left.
I thought you were doing it.
Oh shit! God damn it!
All right, yeah, in 20 seconds.
All right, okay.
PODFIX.
Hey everybody, this is former WWF Light Heavyweight Champion Gilbert, brother, and you're listening to the Greetings Guild Podcast.
No, you can't. Oh, maybe you can.
Oh my god, I did it. Okay. Excellent. All right. First of all, okay, before I forget again, I wanted to ask you, I have to word this in a particular way, otherwise I get really self-conscious. Did you receive that link I shot over to you in TikTok?
Oh.
Earlier today.
Earlier today, I probably did.
Okay, give it a look-see. You watch that, and then I'll have to explain why I was trying to be so choosy with my words, hopefully without interrupting that over there. Because of fucking Harvey Birdman.
I hate you open TikTok, and it instantly goes to something.
Some random. Luckily, my feed, because of the algorithm, is usually just dogs. But there was a time there when I would just pop open the app and immediately, because somebody sent me something. And I'd pop it open, and it'd just be, a butt. And
that's probably from me.
And I like to pretend that I don't know how that got there or how the algorithm thought I was into that, but I know.
Good. Are you talking about this Chancla video?
Yeah, the chocolate.
Yeah.
So you probably saw that as it happened, didn't you?
I did, and somebody over headsets said, so now we're promoting child abuse, huh?
The person that said that to me, and here's our first shout out of the night, was Diego.
Oh.
And usually when Chancla Antics, when he comes across Chancla Antics, he sends them right over to me. And I'm so fucking grateful for it, because that's one of those vestiges that's one of those very culturally specific things that I'm so glad exists, merely for my own entertainment. It's like the richest shit. Anyway, I don't know. We were thinking about wrestling earlier, and then that reminded me of that. So I was like, "Oh fuck it, Bob's got to see it." And I'm also highly entertained by the fact that a chocla isn't a chocla until it's a chocla. Up until that point, it's just a flip flop, and then somebody weaponizes it, and it becomes something altogether more threatening.
I never knew that.
Yes, it's
when it's used in a different fashion, its name changes.
I don't know if that's real. I'm just saying that fundamentally that's kind of what I mean. Seriously, it's it's weaponry you can buy from Eckerd. I'm sorry, not Eckerd, but CVS. Excuse me. And you don't even have to go in there with a license or anything, which is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, that Puerto Rican crowd, they were so excited for anything.
Yeah.
On Friday, our dark match was it was LA Knight and somebody whose name escapes me, but on his level, and they popped really, really hard for LA Knight, and I was thinking tonight's gonna be a good night.
Yeah. And then the chocolate came out, and your words were verified.
Well, the funny thing was, we had to work the press conference. Then SmackDown, and then the pay-per-view on Saturday.
Right.
So it's me and my coworker who's from Costa Rica. And there are times where they're at the press conference, they're yelling at each other in Spanish, and he just busts out laughing. He is just dying. And I said, what's so funny? Because I can follow some Spanish. They were saying words I'd never heard before. He said he called him a dick sniffer. Yeah.
Even in English, that is a very specific term.
But apparently they were throwing obscenities back and forth at each other in Spanish constantly, both on the presser and the live shows.
Oh wow! I wanted to ask you about this because you're doing the audio for that broadcast, which is very useful information to have. Did they have you do a canned chocolate slap when the weaponry in question was deployed?
We don't do sound effects.
Oh, damn it. All right, well, maybe you should. Maybe that needs to be run.
I'll bring it up with the higher-ups.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm sure they would love to hear from me.
All right, I think they would, and open it by suggesting they bring back Bastion Booger as well. All right, anyway.
Especially after Monday, I'm sure they would love to hear me.
Oh, yeah? Uh-oh. Is there a story? Is there lore here?
No, it's just that Monday was a highly criticized episode of Raw based off its audio, let's say.
Really? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people had a really good reason. It didn't sound good.
Oh, sorry.
You
should have.
It wasn't by anything I was doing wrong.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, at least your job's secure for now.
I hope.
Good. All right, because we need you to keep making that bread so that we can keep doing this stupid shit. All right. Oh, speaking of where you get your money from, there was a little bit of news in wrestling this last week. Some bit of a legacy property of the WWE was improved upon, I guess.
You could say that. Let's see.
It's very subjectively improved upon, suppose.
Well, I guess know. It depends who you ask, because on a previous Monday, I think it was last Monday, actually, not this Monday, the last Monday. Mm-hmm. Triple H came out and he said that with Roman Reigns on SmackDown, he's going to stay on SmackDown. We need a world title over here. Mm-hmm. And he unveiled the brand new, it's called the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Okay.
All right. So, context for those of us who haven't watched wrestling regularly since 2008 or so, Roman Reigns had a belt on Raw previously, and then they did the whole brand changing thing.
Because there was the WWE title and there was the Universal title. Okay. Both were considered world titles. One was on Raw, one was on SmackDown. Okay. WrestleMania last year, Roman won both belts, held on to it all the way up to this point, 13, 14 months later. He still got both belts.
That's tragic, but okay. Well, how's that bring that up to this right here?
Well, you see that that's kind of the confusing part. We don't 100% know where this is going. Is this going to is this a third world title? Is it going to replace one of the two world titles Roman has, and he's got to give one up?
Because the last time something happened like this, it was when Brock won both the SmackDown and the Raw titles, and then he unified them. So they had one belt between both shows, I think that was, right?
Yeah, at that time, the brand split had, I think, when you do that, it officially dies. And there's just one world title, one tag title, one women's title, and so forth.
Yeah. I mean, the whole brand split story, I'm honestly impressed that they're, like, still going with it, or if it's a case of, like, resuscitation or whatever.
It's a show.
It's bull. I know, but even for wrestling, it's bull, you know? Like, it's literally, well, you're still called the WWE, right? Yeah, but we're competing brands. Fuck it, does the money go to the same, like, insane dude? Then you're the same fucking product, guys. I'm sorry. I wish we were as stupid as you think we are, but we're not. So this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, there was a little bit of, like, dramatic impetus when Shane McMahon bought WCW, and then he, with the big plot twist with buying ECW at the same time. It was like a lot of Hollywood and a lot of, like, drama. So the bullshit more or less pushed that plot line, and it was easy to get into. But up to that point, the brand split thing just none of it parsed, you know?
Well, it was kind of like I'm not sure if they were just getting low on talent. It's like, well, some talent's got to be on both shows, and that makes splitting up the brands kind of stupid. But
yeah,
I think that experiment only lasted a year, maybe 2 years, and then they're like, we got to do brand split again because we got too many motherfuckers around here.
Look at all these wrestlers. Did we just get rid of like 100 of these guys last year? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. They just keep multiplying. They're coming out from under the lockers and shit. I don't get it, but whatever. So now there's one belt. I'm sorry. Now there's this belt, but Roman Reigns still has two.
By the way.
What's that? What?
I did forget one thing. We are the Cretans Guild. He is Corey. I am Bob.
No, you didn't forget. I was just going to move past that. Whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just do the setup.
Okay.
And we were hoping to do, since it's just the two of us, just like these kind of mini episodes where we talk about one topic, but as we proved in the last episode, we cannot do that. We're going to try and just stick to the one topic tonight. We're talking about title belts because we love ourselves some wrestling title belts. We're big fans of them. So
yeah,
and there's a brand new one on the market, so let's talk about it.
The funny thing is that like I stated before that like I haven't seen wrestling regular in like a long time, but one thing that's easy to get into with wrestling is like all the pageantry and the hardware behind it.
Yes.
So I've always been able to stay on top of like belt designs and whatnot. I mean, that's not the point of wrestling, but
yeah, but
you know,
it's still it's that MacGuffin to go chasing for to make the story more interesting.
Well, even when I did get into it back in the day, and you and Jay both remember that, like you had to push really fucking hard for that to happen, and it didn't happen until I saw my first Mankind match, and it was like, oh, I'm down. But even back in the day, like one of the first things that I like started researching about it, because you know you can't have Asperger's and get to something without getting all the trivia out of the way, was the legacy or the lineage of each of the belts. I'm gonna say legacy because it's more direct than that. And I started looking up, you know, the history of the NWA belt and the history of the Memphis belt, which was really cool and simplistic. And because like the graphic design geek in me shouts loud and large, I remember the design concepts behind each belt were more impressive than the deeds that they were awarded to. So this is just one of those vestigial things that I've always paid attention to, even when I'm not actively involved in the fandom.
But still, at the same time, there's something about the belts, just, you know, like you said, the pageantry behind it. And I guess we kind of care about, because it's just for us.
Yeah. So this one was announced because you already talked about this. Because Roman Reigns got both belts and then like skedaddled, and then suddenly Hunter is like, I'm sorry, Triple H. Still call him fucking Hunter sometimes.
You're not the only one.
Like I have coffee with the dude every morning or something. How's it going, Hunter? Oh, you wouldn't believe it. I had to get a new belt. The guy was late with the mold. Anyway. So, right. I was looking at this belt, and one of the belts I never really gave too much of a shake about was the big Goldie, the WCW belt.
Oh, you see, now that was one of my personal favorites.
That was your big deal. Yeah,
Yes.
You were in love with that thing because I get it. By the way, it's got a classic look. If you look at like a lot of the vintage plates from all the smaller federations, that one was basically supposed to be saying, "Look, we're like you guys, just so much fucking bigger." It drove the message home, and it said what it needed to say just by you looking at it. To me, though, it's like it's super baroque, and there's just like so much visual chaos there. I was never able to. It wasn't one of my favorites, and I think we already had this episode where we rated all of our favorite belts and whatnot, right?
Yes, that
was
NXT.
yours.
What?
So that was one of yours. Was the WCW Big Gold?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had a couple of my favorites, but I mean, I have it above me on the wall right now. It's the big gold belt with my name on it. So yeah, and it's not the WWE one where they put their own stamp really secretly in the top corner.
The furtive stamp. So
Yeah.
Who's holding the belt right now? Eddie Guerrero. Oh, we have to get it changed. Sorry, guys. All right, send this back to the shop. Jesus Christ. Anyway, here's why I'm digging this belt right here. a lot of people didn't like the last belt, and I think that's why we had like a changeover so suddenly. Unless
they didn't like the Universal title.
Yeah, the really simplistic one, or the really minimalist one.
Where it was this. Let me share this.
See, I called it the diamond or the chevron, which it more resembles. But I like the symmetry of it. I like the fact that there was nothing like crowding your visual space. There wasn't like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to throw up into the microphone right now. Hang on a second. There we go. Awesome.
You good?
Oh, I'm fan-fucking-tastic.
Okay.
Oh, where did this come from? This is awesome.
I found this online. So this is the current WWE title. The Universal title is exactly like it, except for all the black is either red or blue, depending on what show is on. The last show it was on was SmackDown, so it was a blue one. So there's this guy and the bluey.
And the other reason why I liked it, it also looks like a cigar band. That was one of them. The other reason I liked it is because each of the divisions, they weren't presented with like a themed belt. Now uniformity is easier to brand, but it distinctly lacks identity, which when you're dealing with like an individualistically driven product like professional wrestling, was almost kind of like a DOA idea to begin with. I thought it was cool because it didn't like play up or play down any one particular belt design. It didn't say we're gonna give like all this attention to the World Championship belt and we're gonna give this much attention to the tag team belt. You know what I mean? Because like the tag team belts from like back in the Attitude Era were like kind of sad. They didn't have a whole lot of they didn't have something that identified them. The Intercontinental belt did. The World belt obviously did. And the Hardcore belt looked at those two belts and was like, fuck you both. Pedal to the metal, bitches. But the last iteration of belts, I think, went a little bit too much of a long way to circumvent that problem, which isn't even really a problem.
Well, what I like about this title is, I mean, yes, it does look like the old WCW title.
It's drawn inspiration from it at least.
Oh, without a doubt, because... Yeah. On that Monday where he had like a red cloth over it and he revealed it, it was kind of like jarring at first. Like, whoa,
what did you do to the gold belt?
Yeah. If only they gave some kind of indication what company it represents now.
Oh shit, like they're doing straight up vandalism now? All right, well, they did the Hardcore belt, as was previously stated.
So yeah, I don't know if I'm on the fence. There's things I like, there's things I don't like. I do like how it doesn't have any, aside from black, white, and gold, it doesn't have any color.
It doesn't have any other distracting elements about it.
Which I'm a little surprised they didn't do that, because that little whoosh that's behind the W, I'm surprised that's not red.
Sorry, do you mean the little whoosh behind the W? Whoosh. I dig it. I dig the color scheme a lot. It's not as chunky as the old gold belt was.
Chunky.
I've always been into like designs that contrast silver with the gold, because a lot of people think it's a little bit too jarring. Some people are like conflicted about the value of that color scheme, as if the silver somehow taints the rest of it. And it's like no. It's if you don't want to have like too much static in a single design, going with hard contrasting colors, only two of them, is more than serviceable. And the black as a separating element between silver against itself, it doesn't pull away from the surrounding gold either. It honestly is like, as far as like color harmony goes, it's killer. I couldn't have any more nice things to say about it. But go ahead, yeah.
Oh no, I was just noticing there's no nameplate on this.
But you notice screws in the side plates, right?
Yes, they've had personalized side plates for a while now, but this is one of the few titles that doesn't have a nameplate on it. Maybe that's something that they're phasing off of.
I don't know. It could be. No. Hold up. I just noticed something. Let me zoom in a little bit more here.
Oh, you're looking at the screws at the very bottom?
Not at the bottom. I'm looking at the screws that are not in the name or in the letter. I'm sorry, the frontispiece that says champion. I'm also looking at the screws that in the frontispiece that says world. So they're probably going to be able to take that plate off and put whoever's name there.
No, I don't think they would do that. You wouldn't, because No, because then it would just say World and then John Cena.
No. World is the plate that comes off. That's the plate that the screws are in. Champion is the one that's hard set into the background mold. So if you take that off and it says John Cena champion, or The Miz champion, heaven forbid, or it says Roman Reigns champion, more likely. That's where the name would go.
I'm not sure if you can see my mouse. These round rivets, those aren't screws. Those are supposed to be diamonds. So they're decorative.
Like the ones that are abutting each side of the big plate?
Yeah, there's diamonds all around the side of the plates.
Which is a really cool and subtle detail. I like that. All right, well, that's weird that they would put it up in the top plate and not in the lower one. But
what, the diamonds?
Yeah, the 2 diamonds that are up there, not down
well,
there.
there's 4 at the very top here, and there's 4 at the bottom here. So I don't know. Maybe they had a limit of the amount of diamonds they had to put on this thing.
We ran out of diamonds.
We're out of diamonds, man.
Guys, we're out of diamonds. How you run out? They're fake. Just go down to Hobby Lobby, get some more.
One thing I absolutely love about this title, I don't know why I love this so much. Because let's see. Let me zoom in on that.
That's funny that they actually consider the Steve Austin belt to be one of the official belts.
Well, this was used as the world title at one point.
But see, if I remember correctly, at around the same time, The Rock got his own belt too.
But it was never on TV.
But it was. Oh, what? Really?
Yes.
I'm having a Mandela moment about this. No shit.
It featured enough on the shop, and I guess maybe in ads or something. But yes, it was never used on TV.
I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, you were. Now breathe.
Yeah, I know. Verified.
All right. So the point I wanted to make, I love the center plate shape because it's obviously the big gold belt. But what I absolutely love is the side plates. They're not the rectangular one that the old big gold belt had. Instead, what it has these ridges on the side of the side plates.
Oh yeah,
that look like it looks like they're hugging the center plate. Which there's something that I find like very aesthetically pleasing about that.
Now, whoever designed this like really killed. Is there like there's probably like no reverse view of this thing, just so we can see what the clasp looks like?
Not that I can find, because the one we had on that Monday, it wasn't 100%, let's say, completed. Somebody got on headsets and yelled, "Tell those guys to go easy with that thing. The glue is still not dry."
Glue?
I guess there's what we saw on TV was a
mock-up.
A mock-up that was very close to what the original, what the final product is going to be. If not, that was the final product, and they had like some epoxy.
That's interesting.
So cool.
Because I was just up in Stamford, and I actually didn't see a Hobby Lobby anywhere near those buildings. Oh, by the way, did you know that the WWF headquarters is actually 2 buildings, and they're like half a mile apart from each other?
They are transitioning to new offices. I know that.
Oh, is that the
they
deal?
just built? I think so. They built a bigger office with studios and everything in it.
Well, one of the buildings is, well, they're both pretty fucking big, but one of them seems to be like more concentrated use, whereas the other one is mixed use. A lot of other.
What they're probably doing is they're going to turn the original building into like office space, and the second building is going to be, if they're going to keep both buildings, it's going to be more studio and meeting and corporate type of dealy.
Oh, it's cool.
I don't know.
As it is right now, the feeling that one gets when they drive that main drag into Stamford is that WWF just runs the town. Even though it's basically like TV town outside of Manhattan. And it's just interesting to read about how Stamford became what it is as far as it relates to that industry. But anyway, we're talking about this belt.
Yeah.
Fucking whatever. Who gives a fuck about Stamford? I don't fucking care. So yeah, this was pretty neat. The old one's gonna be missed, but neither one of them is gonna be the 24/7 belt. I'm sorry. I know everyone hates it, but
you know what
belt.
the weird thing is we're not entirely sure that one of the belts is going away because it hasn't happened yet. And this title is going to be awarded next Saturday in the next Saudi show.
Mm-hmm.
So we still don't really know if we're down to just 2 belts or 3 belts, or we don't, because that wouldn't make much sense. Why would you have 2 belts on one show and 1 belt on the other? That doesn't.
Why indeed? Maybe.
But the other thing is the terminology for all 3 belts is completely separate.
How's that? Okay, so the 2 belts
there's
on
the WWE. There's the WWE World Title.
Okay.
The Universal Title.
Okay.
And this is the World Heavyweight Championship.
Guys, they're fucking interchangeable. I'm trying to buy into the dramatics of it, but
I think what they want to do is, because we also have Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions, we have Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions. I think what they want to do is get the show branding off of these titles.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe ditch the Universal title or ditch the WWE title and then have this is the WWE title and the other is the Universal title.
Yeah.
And just make them both black and they're very interchangeable regardless of what's going on. I don't know.
What do both... Okay, I know the one belt looks like the cigar band. Did they... do you remember the Brock Lesnar? All right, look at 2002 to 2005. That one. That was the Universal Championship, right? The first one.
Yes, that was after the WCW merger.
Right, and that was when they combined Big Gold with the giant coin.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So at some point after that had happened, I distinctly remember them bringing back the Big Gold. But I don't.
Yes, they did. At some point, let's see, 2005, the spinner belt came into play. Sometime after
that thing stuck around for a while.
Yeah. Well, I think eventually the Undisputed title eventually dropped the Undisputed portion of the title.
Right.
Yeah. And then it was just the WWE Championship. And then I think at some point that's when the gold belt came back, was I think 2004 or 5.
Okay.
And so it carried on pretty much. I'm guessing some point during 2014 it stopped.
All right. So, so they did get rid of the big gold in 2014.
Oh, wait. No, it's been gone for 10 years now. So I guess 2003.
Okay.
Wait, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's what I'm about to ask you, is if both of the belts that Roman's holding now are both the cigar band style belts.
Yeah.
They
one's black,
are?
one's blue.
They're getting rid of the blue one.
More than likely.
I think the blue one's going away. Yeah, okay, all right.
It is.
Now it's all coming together.
At least maybe.
That's a bummer. Like I said before, I like their heart was in the right place, but yeah, you gotta juke and jive it a little bit with branding each division as like its own individual thing. Otherwise, you're going to be like, why are these guys going after the Intercontinental belt when they could just go after the big belt, right? And then you have to be like, well, it's because they're not being pimped. And it's like, oh, well, it's supposed to be real.
The guy who has it isn't on the show.
Yeah, I know. You guys didn't know about that. But you have to make it look legit. And I think that was kind of like, they kind of like dropped the ball a little bit when they stopped pushing the cruiserweight belt too. Because when you introduce weight classes into the into like the dramatic fold, then suddenly that is the biggest prize for those two to be going after. You know.
The cruiserweight title is one of those situations where it was so weird. They were making it a big deal, and then week by week, its popularity. I mean, it went from the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, and then it eventually became the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. It's like, when did the belt change its name?
Yeah, this is when they didn't want to have 205 Live or whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah, 205 Live, and
205 Live anymore.
As soon as 205 Live was actually going on for quite a while, and then once they decided to rebrand that show, drop the 205, and change the title. Like, all right, let's get rid of the Cruiserweight Championship as well. We don't need that anymore.
That fucking sucks, though. See, the thing is that like I thought that they played up each wrestler's weight so that they would have a reason to have dudes that were roughly the same size going after higher tier belts, because they could say, well, he's 225 pounds, he ought to be going after the World Heavyweight Championship because he's heavy. the fucking fat ass. You can go after the Intercontinental belt, which is really just reserved for dudes that are like 200 pounds. And, most 200-pound dudes that we know don't really look like professional wrestlers anyway, but I thought that was because of narrative plausibility that they did that. So they'd have like some sort of at least an acceptable excuse to have these dudes going after the Intercontinental belt or the European belt or whatever, and to have these dudes going after Cruiserweight or the Heavyweight belt, etc., etc.
The funny thing is when they made the transition that they did, they decided to make the transition before changing the name of the show. So 205 Live, it was taped before NXT on Tuesdays.
Right. Yeah, we went to a couple of those, didn't we?
No, I don't think they had. It definitely wasn't at NXT when you and I were going to them.
Oh, okay, all right.
But
I remember that for some reason.
But the show now is called Level Up, and basically it's the tryout show for brand new people before they get onto NXT. So it's
up.
Yeah, it's the development show, basically.
So basically, main event from ROH, or
oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I bring all that up is they pulled the trigger on making that transition, and they couldn't change the name until several months later. So all this time on 205 Live, you would see like 270, 300-pound guys on the show, and you're like, I don't think they're 205.
Yeah, wasn't fucking Tony Nese on 205 Live? And it's like, that guy looks like he does legitimately weigh 220 pounds.
Yeah, all muscle weight, but he was the
like,
cruiserweight champion for a while.
He's a fucking fire plug. Like, like he's built like a robot.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. So I remember that, like, in order to excuse it, they had him do like, oh, well, for one thing, the narrative take on it was that he's short, so he doesn't weigh that much. And two, they would have him do like one awkward ass high spot per match in order to like kind of like push the whole cruiserweight concept with him. And then eventually they get up and they're like, no, look at the fucking dude. Come on, how are you stupid? He clearly doesn't. He doesn't. No, he's a bit hefty. That would have fucking great if they tried to pass off like what the hell is his name? Not Bray Wyatt.
They were passing off guys built as Bastion Booger.
Oh,
on
wow,
205.
Really?
Yeah,
no
super
shit.
Fat guys. Yeah, they just like, no, you don't belong on this show. That's why I said they made the programming change before the name change, and it just didn't work.
So instead of fudging their weight, they'd have to fudge their heights a little bit.
At 3 foot,
280 pounds and 4'8". He's not 4'8". God damn it, guys. They got Gilbert taking the heavyweight championship on that show.
Gilbert.
Gilbert's the best. Gilbert, he'll always be our heavyweight champion. Our Cretan's weight champion. How about that? Has he ever gotten the belt legit? Well, he's never challenged.
Just the light heavyweight.
I mean, our belt. We don't really challenge him. We don't.
No.
Nobody's ever thought about it though.
No, we haven't. But I'm not sure he wants to be disturbed.
I'm not sure he wants the Cretan's belt on his run. Well, you've held the WWE Light Heavyweight Championship. He did a lot of stuff for WCW also, right?
Did he?
He was like Dwayne Gilt at the time, but he was like Jobber to the Stars.
That was long
ago.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's this? The Cretan's Heavyweight World? We don't talk about that, man. We don't talk about that. It was dark days indeed. Really? Even darker than Gilbert? Oh my God. At least I was on TV with Gilbert.
He's had some health issues. Otherwise, I wish you'd go on a convention or two because I'd bring the belt to him just to get a photo with him.
That'd be really cool. Damn it. All right. Well, put that on the board. One day, when the stars align. Anyway, I'm digging the belt. I like it. It's good times.
I'm warming up to it. I'm probably 70-30 on the this is a good design. I take that back. It is a good design. It's just it's still warming up to me a little slower than some other belts have in the past.
That's always, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's always the shock of the new that like throws some people. But honestly, those old belts didn't get a positive reception to begin with.
Oh no, the first time we saw the Universal title, it was booed out of the building.
That's right. Because of the passion so often displayed by your average wrestling fan.
Yeah, which they weren't on display on Jacksonville. Thank you very much, you assholes. Swear to God, there were people visibly sitting in the front row on their phones during the main event.
Oh shit!
Like you paid $200 for nothing.
Really?
Yes.
Wait, how much was that ticket?
It was a lot. I don't know the exact number, but I'm sure it was more than. I'm sure it was probably more than $200.
Maybe they felt they already paid at the gates.
No.
It's like, you want anything else out of us, guys? You're gonna have to work for it.
Yeah.
All right, fair.
But anyway. I think that's going to do it for this discussion. That was a nice little short episode we pulled off.
Mm-hmm.
Kind
Somehow.
of. Aimed for.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Wait. How long?
Long enough.
Oh, damn it! I thought I was going to get the championship belt for keeping it like high and tight. But
you didn't challenge for it, man. Maybe on the next episode you should do that.
Who am I going to challenge to like fucking shut the fuck up during one of these recordings? That's only going to be me. No. And
I know you can't hold it. I know you can't.
No, I can't.
Okay.
It's just, yeah.
We'll figure something out. So in the meantime, everyone, practice infinite diversity in infinite combinations. Linktree to all of our socials and other media can be found on the description. Join our Discord to continue the discussion. Tell us what your favorite wrestling belt of all time is. We would love to hear from you.
It's the 24/7 belt, guys. You remember that, okay?
Oh, God.
I'm giving you the answer already. You don't have to do any research whatsoever.
You know, I'm glad I'm a moderator. I can kick out anyone who says that.
We're not on Discord.
Well, not at the moment.
And I'm a moderator.
So you can kick me out if you want.
I'm not going to do that.
I know, because I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, when I win the belt, you have to hand it to me.
Yeah. So the guy who's not here is Jay. You can find him on YouTube at Square Pegs. You can find my channel, Skipper Bob's Breakdowns, both of them on YouTube. We have merch on teepublic.com. Features the fabulous arts of Mr. Tom Solo.
Fuck yeah, Tom Solo. Sorry.
Tom Solo, baby!
There we go, yes.
We are part of the PODFIX network, and to all of our followers, new and old, we say...
Welcome to the guild.
Welcome to the guild.
And to all your dogs and cats?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Fuck.
This was a podcast of the PODFIX Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.
That's not your thing.
I know. You have to. Did we?
Is he in the room? Is he in the room?
Is Jay in here? No, he's not in here.
Okay, I was gonna have him yell it from the distance.
Oh, because I thought that was a Robbie thing initially.
You know, it's a bit that's been going so long, I don't remember who started it or how it started. It could be a Robbie thing.
I would put at least $5 on that. But the only
you know what?
Sure.
I would have to find it, but yes, it probably was a Robbie thing.
Nice. And that is his contribution to the show. And it was a big one.